Has this ever happened to you?
So I know it might seem obvious, but dust to me seems like the dopest map in the game.
Oh, yes, I also love the dust.
You playing 1.6 still, or did you move over to Source yet?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Can't keep up with today's game lingo? Well, then you're in luck, because over the next 30 minutes, we're going to give you a sneak peek of an exciting new video cassette series designed to teach you how to talk the talk without making you play all those pesky games. You'll get hits like Final Fantasy VII in 30 seconds. Okay, there's this company called Shinra, right? They're in the power business because of these things called Mako reactors that pump energy out of the planet. Unfortunately, that energy comes from like the souls of the dead, so they're literally sucking the life energy right out of the planet. A rebel group named Avalanche sets out to destroy the reactors and save the planet, but they can't do it alone, so they hire this mercenary kid named Cloud. Real whiner. He dresses up in drag, he clashes with this dude named Sephiroth, and the ending's left open to interpretation. Oh, and Eris dies. Have you ever wished that you could freeze your fighting game opponents in place so that they'd stop whooping up on you? Hey, who hasn't, right? This one only works in early releases of the arcade version of Street Fighter 2. Future versions fixed it because, well, that's what you do when you have a game with annoying glitches. With this trick, known as Guile's handcuffs, you can essentially lock up your opponent and keep him attached to your side. You can't actually hit your opponent while he's cuffed, but hey, that's why this glitch is pretty crazy, right? If you're feeling really insidious, there's another move you can do that resets the game. But do not do this in an arcade. You will get your ass kicked.
I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos!
You've got to be kidding.
Peace. And a maniac to catch with.
Hi. Look. Your mind has been placed in a cerebral support mechanism.
Welcome to paradise, kid.
Lock and load! Come the pup. Kill them all, let God sort them out. Oh, that's got it. That's it, I'm out of here.
Well, partner, this level ain't big enough for the two of us.
I love the smell of bug spray in the morning. It smells like victory.
Battle stations, scramble everybody, all pilots up now!
The victory will benefit greatly from having a wing commander of your stature and experience.
Then
garden spot of the kingdom.
Really?
Wow, I'm feeling smarter already.
And that's just the beginning. With our patented cleansing techniques, you'll be fragging the noobs in no time.
The who? With the what?
You've got a lot to learn. Let's take a break and let some of this sink in. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lee.
Now let me paint a nightmare scenario for you here, folks. It's a cold, dark night. Your car breaks down and you're stranded. You stumble into the nearest hotel and find a LAN party. Rows and rows of smelly players, jacked out of their minds on energy drinks.
Oh no! I don't even speak the same language as these guys. I'll be stuck forever.
With our patent-pending How to Be a Player video series, you'll be back on the road in no time. Just watch. Obviously, you're going to need to be able to talk a pretty good game when it comes to first-person shooters. Just use handy phrases like rocket jumping and headshots, and you should do just fine. If the topic strays to a shooter you might not be familiar with, refer to this handy video guide for help. Shogo switched off between on-foot levels and sequences that would put you in a giant robot suit. Hexen ran on the same engine that powered Doom, but was much more about magic and the occult than Doom ever was. Wolfenstein 3D was the game that came before Doom. It's the game that basically popularized this whole style of gaming to begin with. Duke Nukem 3D married first-person shooter gameplay with a wise-cracking hero that made the whole thing feel a lot more like an action movie. Especially since he stole a bunch of his catchphrases from Bruce Campbell.
Let's rock.
GoldenEye was the first console-only first-person shooter that was worth taking seriously. It was also a good early example of a game that had location-specific damage. Quake was the game that took the whole thing online because Quake was built for the internet. Of course, no one would have enough bandwidth to play it properly until like a year after it came out. Unreal was, essentially, not Quake. The Quake versus Unreal rivalry heated up when both series went for a multiplayer focus with Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament. We recommend you flip a coin to determine your allegiance, but really, UT is way better. Okay, so Halo opens with you being woken up out of some kind of crazy cryostasis because you're some kind of badass cybernetic space marine called the Master Chief. This alien race called the Covenant has been causing trouble all over the galaxy and they're looking for Earth. You land on their ancient religious artifact, a big lush space ring they call Halo. At the end of Halo, you blow that ring apart. In Halo 2, the bad guys find Earth, but instead of defending it, you go find another big space ring and a weird alien plant. Oh, and you also play as Keith David. Ooh, one more thing, the ending sucks. Okay, look, there are plenty of people out there that play real-time strategy games, but it's perfectly acceptable to skip them. You really don't need to know anything about this style of gaming. But if you're trying to impress someone, just claim that you dropped out of college to play on the Korean professional StarCraft circuit. That should work. Okay, so now you know the Neo Geo was crazy expensive when it came out like 15 years ago. But there's more to know about this system if you want people to truly believe that you're hardcore. The Neo Geo is a cartridge-based system devoted to bringing the arcade experience home. And with a few exceptions where home versions were, for some reason, censored, that's exactly what you got. Games like Magician Lord represent the system's early flavor. But since the Neo Geo lived during the big fight game boom of the 90s, Many of the system's best games were fighters. Games like Samurai Showdown 2, Art of Fighting 2, King of Fighters 95, Last Blade, Waku Waku 7, and Mark of the Wolves were all games that put their own spin on the 2D fighter. But that's not all the system had to offer. There are the Metal Slug games, which were sort of a pumped-up Contra-style series that grew to 6 games over the years. You could also find shooters like Polestar. It may have been expensive, but if you were a fighting game fan, the Neo Geo was worth every penny.
Dude, ninjas?
Yes, my boy, ninjas. When you roll with our How to Be a Player video series, you roll sick and deep. And you also roll with large, fire-breathing Russians. But don't take my word for it. All right, welcome back to the party. By now, you should have a pretty good idea of what our How to Be a Player video series is all about. Every 6 to 8 weeks, you'll receive a new video cassette that contains the latest in game news fakery, like this old favorite. Okay, this one's easy. You know how every Zelda game puts you in the role of a kid named Link and asks you to save Zelda from an evil, crazy pigman named Ganon? Well, guess what this one makes you do? Yep. Same thing. Oh, but here you get to do some time traveling and switch between little boy Link and adult Link. So, that's different, I guess. Oh, and did I mention it's one of the greatest games of all time? That's probably important, too. Fantastic. This party's really heating up now. Hey, having a good time?
Oh, heck yeah. With all this game info at my fingertips, I've gone from part-time Madden player to the guy that can tell you why the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat was totally lame.
And we're just getting started. Let's take a look at this clip from our advanced series on game tattoos. Now, what if I told you you were missing out on an underground world full of hot, exciting parties just like this one? You want in? Of course you do. But if you don't know the code, you're stuck at home. That's where we come in. Take a look at this clip about obscure portables. If you run into any militant players, chances are they're going to judge you more by what you hate than by what you actually like. Here are some real-world defenses to use in the wild.
Look at them down there. Offense, defense, it doesn't matter. They just want to start hitting somebody.
Hello, butt nugget. What's happening, fellas?
Okay, let's see. You're a secret agent named Solid Snake. You sneak into this base and try to rescue a guy, but he has a heart attack. Turns out it was something called Fox Die. You blow up the big walking tank named Metal Gear and deal with your crazy twin brother. In the sequel, you play as Solid Snake. Wait, no, you don't. You play as this sissy named Raiden. You can hide in cardboard boxes. The president, he's in this group called the La Lu Lile Lo or something, and he grabs your crotch. This girl keeps harassing you on the radio. Hell, I don't know. It's all a VR mission anyway.
We're not just pawns in some simulation game, you know.
Yes, you are.
Our How to Be a Player series is poised to give you everything you need to know about games without having to play all those games. That's it. No tiny classified ads. No magic bullets here, friends. Just the facts, fast and easy. And hey, look at our friend here.
Now I'm the hit of all the LAN parties, and I never even had to pick up a controller. Thanks, player.
No, friend, thank you. If you'd like to take the challenge, fire up your internet online web browser and point it at www.gamespot.com/be-a-player. Act now. Supplies are limited.